I saw your fucking biceps there. What the fuck? You're jacked. Have you always been this jacked?
She's a female fucking Marine, Nathan.
I just have a bruise.
She's a Marine. Ooh, fucking raw, Nathan.
You're listening to the Art and War podcast with your hosts, Mitch and Nathan. Mitch is a former airborne infantry squad leader who now spends most of his time coaching soccer. Nathan is a professional illustrator and an avid shooter with a couple of years of Canadian military experience. Together, they run the Seaburn art page. Enjoy the show.
Well, I think it kind of goes with the improvisational tone of this podcast. We just kind of do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
You'll have that on these big jobs.
Yeah.
Well,
so how's that Corona, Kaley?
It's good. It's almost gone. I need to get another here soon.
Oh, and Mitch's video just cut already.
Yeah, it was instantly
Nice.
starting to lag. So there's this fucking problem that I have with my internet where if more than me and Nathan are recording for some reason, sometimes if I have my video on, the audio and video just lags so bad for me that like you'll be mid-conversation and I'll like say my point because there's a natural pause when I started talking, but by the time you heard it.
Mm-hmm.
So super quality professional podcasts, Art and War
Super
number
quality
one.
professional podcast, as sponsored by Big Daddy Unlimited, who still does not sponsor us. But
No, they listen, but they listen.
But they
Really?
listen.
But they listen.
Hi. I
I
hope you're doing well.
You can't. I don't know if you can say his name.
Oh fuck! I don't know. Can we say his name? It says on his profile that he works for BDU.
Can we? I don't know.
I don't know.
But he still has to
Either
ask.
way, let's-
He still has to ask the superiors over there if he can even come on
Before
the
he
podcast.
shows up in a podcast recorded by us retards, that might be a good idea.
Well, somehow we still have our sponsor, AWS.
Yes,
And
Advanced Warfighting Solutions. I actually have my belt over here. After that last that reloading guide we put out, I got shamed into getting a dump pouch.
did you get their dump pouch?
I did not get their dump pouch. I already had an HSGI one sitting around. It's held on
Soft
with
body
zip
as
ties.
fuck.
Well, I will, Mitch. I will. I'll talk to AWS at some point, but I've had this HSGI one for like 2 years. I just never used it.
Well, Kaley, how are you?
Yeah,
I am great. How are you all?
We're good.
pretty good. It's been a few episodes without any White Claws, so Mitch he sent me a guide earlier on logistics, which is entirely built around metaphors of me buying White Claws, so it reminded me to buy some.
Did you like that guide, by the
Well,
way? Are we
good.
going to run that?
The logistics guide, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm probably going to like a Tacoma full of White Claws. I might put a few boxes of ammo and try and get a dual metaphor in there, but we'll get to it later. It's probably going to come out Thursday or Friday. By the time people listen to this episode, the guide will be out, and y'all will have put your fucking dirty little comments in the comment section to tell us that we're retarded.
People do get really upset sometimes with what we have
People
to
get
say.
so poopy. Actually, I expected more bad things in the reloading guide, other than just a few questions about like why don't you use a dump pouch, which like the advice also applies to people with dump pouches. There's a few people who are like, I don't see why you'd keep the magazine. If it's empty, just get rid of it. Like, what?
Well,
What?
you don't always have
Like,
magazines.
well, Mitch, I think if you're not resourceful, you can find magazines anywhere. Have you played video games?
Fuck. You're right.
Yeah. There you go.
You're right.
Yeah, it's just like you go up to a body and you loot 70 assault rifle ammo and you're fine. Doesn't matter what gun he has. You're fine.
Kaylee,
You have mag.
welcome to being the audience for Nathan and Mitch bitching about the people in our comments.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm here to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well, most people are fantastic. I think like
Yeah.
99% of people are fantastic.
We're being
Just, like,
overdramatic.
the odd one who's just like, oh, I don't understand. Just drop it. Just leave it.
Cool. I mean, you can. There's nothing stopping you
You
from
can.
doing
There's
that.
situations where that's actually the right thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm just complaining.
Yeah, we're complaining. Kaylee, tell us about yourself.
Yes.
What do you do? What's your name? What's your sign?
My name's Kaley.
What time
I'm
were
a
you born?
Taurus.
We're going to do your star chart.
No.
I don't even know what that means. I just know that's like a weird thing.
I am super into astrology, by the way. But no, so I am Kaley. I do cool things with AKs and other things. I was in the Marine Corps. I got into AKs by my boyfriend who I met on Instagram that I slid into his DMs. And
Aggressive.
Hey,
now
Tyler.
Aggressive.
I'm here.
Super aggressive.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
He seems pretty cool. I think I follow him. He does lots of cool AK stuff.
Yeah, Tim is an AK connoisseur. He knows
I just called him
in and
Tyler
out.
because I'm
Wow.
dumbass. But
Nice.
yes, Tim.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I got into AKs through Tim. Working at said place. They just had a bunch of hell pups that I thought were cool, but turns out they're not cool.
Oh, I know exactly where you were working. We actually just did a
Yep.
coincidence.
So I was told.
Yeah. Cool lads, though.
Fuck that place.
Oh, God. It's funny because you're coming out right after that. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh no.
They know. They know.
Hey.
Oh, I mean, they spoke quite highly of you, so.
They did, actually.
So,
Sucks to be them.
Sucks to suck, I guess.
So I know.
Yeah, I guess.
We kind of talked about it off camera because Nathan was naturally late.
I'm sorry. Hey, it's not always me. Sometimes, rarely, it is you.
The last 2 times it's been me.
Yes, I'm sorry. There was an accident on the highway because when it rains, people drive like fucking retards.
No excuses. No excuses. You were in the Marines.
Yes.
What did you do in the Marine Corps?
So my MOS was motor team mechanic, but I was only in for just over a year. I fractured my pelvis and was medically forced out after they tried to force me out for like 6 months.
How'd you fracture your pelvis?
I fell with a fuck ton of weight on my back, and
it's a story as old as time.
It's a story that every female Marine probably has.
Yeah.
Just hip problems.
Yeah. This sounds very familiar. I think legitimately everyone we've had on, Krug's had this story. Krug's, who we're going to record with again fairly soon, I hope. All the male Marines as well, but I would imagine it's much worse
Yeah, we get fucked. A lot of females just get absolutely obliterated. And, I go to the VA and they're like, oh, you're an employee. Nope, I'm not an employee. I have a fucked up skeletal system. All of it. Like, absolutely ruined.
That really fucking sucks.
What made you choose the Marine Corps?
So my mother had a business that I enjoyed doing before the Marine Corps, and I didn't think it was cool enough for me to take over. My mother is a doctor, so she wanted me to follow in her footsteps. Absolutely don't want to go to school to be a doctor. I'm a very hands-on person, although that medical field, or the portion of the medical field that she is in, the profession, is obviously hands-on. That's not something I'm interested in. I don't want to waste my time or my money on something like that. So I went into the Marine Corps recruiting office and I was like, hey, I heard you guys do some cool shit. I would like to be a part of said cool shit. And I signed up, and I was actually homeschooled for all of high school so I could leave for the Marine Corps earlier. I graduated high school in like 2 years rather than the 4, and then left for the Marine Corps the day after Thanksgiving. But I chose the Marine Corps because it's fucking cool, and we're all a bunch of fucking cool people.
Yeah. Did you ever get to do any of the said cool shit?
There were times during portions of training where we got to throw nods on and just fuck around, or, me being 5 foot, 95 pounds at the time, carrying a 240 on my back, hiking with just nothing but dudes, just dying pre-hip injury, and just showing them out with one of my staff sergeants who was just a cool human being. Yeah, I did a lot of cool things that I think I'll always have those memories, and if I would ever get the chance, I would do it again. Obviously, probably a lot more safely, but rather than that, I did cool shit, and I did shit that not a lot of people can say that they've done, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool memories to hang on to as well. And a lot of good friends. Like Tim and I, we connect on a entirely different level, both being Marines. We also have a roommate, Corey. We can all fuck around with each other, and it's just a different relationship. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We can go to a bar and, not even announce that we're Marines and somehow get on the topic beside someone who's also a Marine, and it's like, hell yeah, like we're all getting drunk now. It's a good time.
That's awesome.
So
And 240s are no fucking joke. Sorry, Mitch, go on.
No, you go ahead.
That's it. Lugging around a 240s, no fucking joke. As like a grown ass man, even like now, and when I was in the military, I was in the prime of my fucking life. I remember doing, I think like a 13K with a 240 and like an ammo and full fighting order and all that bullshit. I almost fucking died, and the fact you did that at half my weight, that's impressive.
It fucking sucked, but it was cool because everyone was like, "Who the fuck is this bitch?" And I was like, "Hey."
Yeah.
What's your experience dealing with other women in the Marine Corps?
Oh, other women in the Marine Corps. I would say 50% of it is good. The other half of it is a who's the biggest cunt? Uh, you deal with this in everyday professions as well, but you get multiple females in a workplace, and it's like, no, I have the bigger tits. No, I have the bigger tits. Actually, I'm sucking this staff sergeant's dick because I have the bigger tits.
Oh
And
my
then you
god.
have
Holy
the good
shit.
mechanics or the good whomever are just saying, I'm just here to do my job,
So, go ahead.
Some of it is positive. The other portion of it is you are embarrassing all of us.
Yeah.
One thing that to this day kind of surprises me, but makes sense with my now experience in the military. When I was going through basic training years ago, my drill sergeants told all of us, we were all infantry, and this was before women were allowed in the infantry, told all of us, if you ever see a female in uniform, do not talk to them, go the other way. And if you have to talk to them, it is just yes, ma'am, or yes, sergeant, depending on their rank. And you say the absolute bare minimum, no more than what is necessary to be said, and then you go the other way. And I think while looking back, well, I have seen dudes in my career get absolutely fucked for being, just saying hi or, maybe just trying to communicate like on a friend level. I've also seen people not know how to talk with females in the military, and it makes it really fucking awkward. And I think almost feeds into the whole sexual harassment culture in and of itself. I'm curious your thoughts on being a female Marine and hearing how we were told as infantrymen, just don't fucking talk to the females.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And to branch off of that, at least, well, when I went through boot camp, I had went to Parris Island, South Carolina, which was at the time the only place to go for female basic training. There was male and female, but you're on an island and it's huge. So one very back portion of the island was the female training. We called it 4th Battalion. That's what it's called. I can't tell you. I was there for a hot minute, and I did not see a single male the entire time.
Holy shit.
Not a single male. I saw one male, correction, who was my range coach. But that was it. Our McMap instructors were women. The women at the chow hall, or the workers at the chow hall, were all women. So as far as that stemming off of sexual harassment, it is the same way. Men crave that attention of women, and women also crave that attention of men. So not getting to talk to the other sex, you lose that sense. You lose that part of humanity where you're like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this, and you don't. So you do it wrong, and then you get criticized for it, and then it turns into sexual harassment, and you're like, now I'm fucked. My entire career is fucked.
Yeah, it's kind of I see the perspective from both sides, especially with SHARP. I don't know. Is that the program in the Marines? In the Army, it's SHARP, Sexual Harassment Assault Reporting Program.
Yeah, we have that
What's
too.
the sexual harassment program in the Marine Corps called? Sapper.
Sapper. Okay, so it's probably the same thing, just a different acronym because we all like to come up with our own acronyms. But the amount of sharp cases, I think, I mean, I don't know the official statistics. I think it's probably, if I had to guess just from my experience in the military, it's probably about 50-50 of guys talking in a group and making jokes. And there are some jokes that are inappropriate for the workplace. I understand that, but maybe not even making those inappropriate jokes, just kind of like joking, just like amongst each other, being like, oh, you're a fucking like dickhead, or oh, like I'm going to sack tap you or some shit. And somebody seeing that and claiming that as like a sharp case, or somebody on deployment receiving nudies from their wives or significant other, and maybe setting it as their phone background, and a female soldier seeing that, when they flip their phone on. I've seen instances like that where people get reported. But at the same time, equally, there's a bunch of socially awkward fucking weirdos who are told not to talk to women and haven't seen them for years. Well, I mean, obviously they've seen them, but they haven't like spoken with them because their lives are the military. They live on post. They live in the barracks. They live in all male barracks, and they don't interact with female soldiers. So when they go to like a bar where there is a female, they just act like fucking creeps.
I gotta put my dick in that.
Yeah, and then they end up actually doing something where they should be reported, under sharp. But it's such a strange dynamic that the military is going about, I think, the wrong way. But my opinion doesn't matter because, who the fuck am I? I'm just some sergeant.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. I've seen that on the female side as well. Speaking of being socially awkward, there was and I'm not going to name any names because I don't even know. I think this girl still follows me on Instagram. It was a Marine that I served with. She was very, very beautiful Latina girl. Just was a good person from what I could see. But apparently she was really depressed not being around a male or not having a boyfriend or just not having that attention around. So she went and became a stripper off base and then got dishonorably discharged. But it's like, why are you going about it the way you are? Not justifying her actions, but it's like, are you serious?
There was a very recent case where it wasn't directly involved with me or my unit, but from a prior unit that I was at where I was speaking with an old friend there. There was a female infantry woman, and she had an OnlyFans. But she didn't like advertise it to her platoon. Her platoon, however, chose to be dickheads and make accounts with not their real name or like not using their real information, and started to like pass around her pictures. So she ended up, and this is all secondhand information, I just want everybody to be aware, she ended up, long story short, being really cool about it and asked the platoon sergeant to like talk with the whole platoon. And she was like, hey, like, I know you guys did this, but if we could just not do this at work, like, I understand what I do. I put myself out there, like, and you guys pay for it, like, whatever. But can we just not have it affect work? And I guess her platoon was all cool with it. But it is such a strange dynamic when something like that happens, because now, I mean, you have people in your platoon jerking off to you,
Yeah.
And picture you have to do like a team live fire now with that person. And let's say you do oh no, somebody got shot in the leg, or dead gunner drills where you're on their fucking back and maybe you're just fucking horny at that moment. And now like you got a boner sticking into her ass. Like there's such
Sorry, this is like a really serious topic.
Yeah, it's just such a weird dynamic now that you've created.
But I promise you it happens every day.
and that's just it. Like, it happens. And I think the way that the military is going about integrating females and males into units and social circles where they previously weren't, it's like, oh, we told you for years to just not talk to female soldiers, but now all of a sudden, like, you have to, like, they are part of you, they are there.
Yeah.
It's such a weird, strange thing. And I'm just always curious about other people's perspectives, and especially now a female Marine.
Yeah, it's stupid. A lot of the things or ways that they're going about are not very thought through, I don't think. And like you said, whose opinion, like, it doesn't matter. But being there and experiencing that, it's like you couldn't think of a better way to handle it, or you couldn't think of, hey, maybe like we should just only get in the fleet together and work together when we're somewhat semi-mature adults and leave the immaturity in the very beginning part of our Marine Corps career out of it. Like, there was an article that I had read on the first female and male integrated hike and boot camp, and like apparently this I guess assuming somewhere in the middle of the hike of the order, this dude stuck his hands down this fucking girl's trousers.
What
Like,
the
My
fuck?
fuck.
are you serious? But then, if she provoked that, he would still be the one getting in trouble.
Well, and that's just it. The punishment is also extremely one-sided, but
Yeah.
there are certain things, like, that is an instance that this is fucking sexual, like, assault at that point. Like, putting
Yeah.
hands down another person's, that's assault. But like you said, it is also very one-sided, the reporting
Yeah,
system.
it's absolutely one-sided, and I'll say that as a female because it's the truth, you know? A male will always, not always, a male will usually get blamed for any instance of the sort every time. Unless we have hard evidence that the female has provoked this, that the female did this, the other gender did this, we're going to punish them, or both of them, or whatever. It's not ever the, oh, we think the female did it, because it's just privilege.
The whole program is kind of fucked because you'll have instances. This is a direct, this is coming directly from myself who experienced this. We had a staff sergeant who raped a female private, like, raped her. Like, there was
Holy
hard
fuck.
evidence. CID lost the panties that had his DNA on it. He got off. The day he got off, he re-enlisted in def, so they couldn't fucking touch him anymore after that. Like, he's like, oh,
Holy
well,
shit.
I'm in def. Like, I'm here now forever. And everyone in the unit was like, we had to, because, when there's a re-enlistment ceremony, like, it's a big deal, especially like a higher ranking
Mm-hmm.
person. Whole ceremony, we did it out in the field. And that guy was so hated in our unit, in our company, we moved him up to the fucking S shops. But even the S shops were like, no, like, we're going to bring him out with his old former unit. And during his re-enlistment ceremony, everyone, including myself, higher ranking people than me at the time, were like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like fucking, because he was, and we knew that he was. And the program, though, is so fucked because people like that will get off and then they'll
Yeah.
enlist in depth, and oh no, now the fucking rapist is in the ranks in a position of fucking power and authority.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my god.
And
What?
shit like that
Forgive me for
happens.
being like Canadian, but can you explain what re-enlist in def is?
So after a certain point in your career, I believe it's 10 years. The next time you re-enlist, it's until 20 years. So
Yeah.
if you that's why some people will hit like 8 or 9 years re-enlist. So like they brings them to 12 or 13, and then they have a little bit more say of what happens with them because they have limited time. But for the most part, like if you hit 10 years after that and you re-enlist, it's until you retire. So in depth, you
Yeah.
re-enlist indefinitely until you retire. And that motherfucker got away with it. In the same breath, I can also tell you that there have been females that accuse men of doing things or over exaggerating things, and then that male who didn't do it or didn't do the things that were described is now fucked for the rest of his life, because not only did he get just discharged, but he got a dishonorable discharge, and that follows him. It's just the whole
Yep.
program is fucked.
Yeah, it's definitely caters to favoritism. You know, it's even outside of the sexual or inappropriate side of things. The same doctor that diagnosed me with a fractured pelvis misdiagnosed a friend of mine with brain cancer, and she got out of the Marine Corps as a dishonorable discharge, like a med step, but it was dishonorable because it said that she had enlisted in like a fraudulent enlistment kind of. And now this would be a corpsman. This would not be a Marine Corps personnel. So they work for the Navy. So this corpsman or this doctor, sorry, civilian doctor, is now in jail for misdiagnosing her because she has fucking brain cancer now.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
But
shit.
you know, on the other side of things, it's this doctor or this corpsman or this whoever has been working for us in this clinic for so long. We trust them, we believe them. You know, we believe these females because we think that they're truthful. They're not. Not everyone is always truthful. You don't ever know when someone's fully telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a whole nother topic where you and I both have personal experience with medical personnel in the military,
Yeah.
and how you get the best medical care in the entire world, and it's just absolute dog shit. Like it is worse than, it's worth paying for your own medical coverage outside of the military.
Yeah. So I am covered by the VA now. I wasn't for quite some time. I had a pain psychology appointment. This makes me very mad. My pain psychology appointment, it looked like it was going to be some sort of physical therapy. I walk into this room, you know, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm ready to be on the journey to being some sort of pain-free, to find the better steps, to be able to not fucking walk with a limp anymore, to be able to get out of bed and tie my own fucking shoes, not having to wear slip-on Vans. This bitch had the audacity to tell me that my injury was in my head. I said, have you looked at my records? Have you looked at my file? Did you see the MRI that I had with contrast with a needle shoved into my pelvis that I spent my own money for to prove to the VA that I had a fractured pelvis? She's like, I didn't really look in your file. Well, maybe if you fucking
Maybe
looked,
that's
you
your
would know.
fucking job. That's literally your job.
Exactly. Like, don't you get a fucking base pay for something? That's it. Does someone need to rewrite your job description? Because what you're telling me is fucking nuts. Like, you have reached a level of anger in me that I have not produced in a long time. Don't tell me I don't have an injury. You want to fucking look? You want to see that I can't run or walk or potentially ever have a kid? Like, fuck you.
It's so common, and that I think that is the most hurtful aspect of the entire thing, is that you are not unique in this story. I am not unique in mine. Medical care and the sexual harassment programs and even the equal opportunity programs in the military are so fucked, but they look good on a surface level. Surface level, it's like, oh, look at the Army leading the way with appointing the senior, well-respected NCOs to be the EO NCOIC or the Sharp NCOIC. Oh, look, we just contracted out a bunch of doctors to, look after our military personnel. And it's all just surface level lip service. and everybody is suffering over it on every side. I mean, you have the, like we talked about earlier, you have the people that are wrongfully being accused. We have people that are rightfully accusing people and not being believed. We have people being told that injuries are just in their head. And it is just so hurtful and just so it's distressing
Dishonest.
and
Yeah.
dishonest that you're told you will have the best in the world of X, Y, and Z, that you will be taken care of, that it'll be a professional work environment, and it never turns out to be that way. I'm curious, in your short time in the Marine Corps as a female, did you ever have any interactions with any senior? Um, are they NCOs in the Marine Corps? They're NCOs in the Marine
Yes.
Corps.
Yep.
Senior leadership, or just in general in the Marine Corps?
Yep. Yeah, I had experience with that everywhere. Not so much in basic, you're just dealing with your drill instructors and whatnot. But getting out to MCT and being in Pendleton, you deal with that, and some of the NCOs were nice, were pretty good for the most part, but there were also that one-off NCO that's like, hey, like, you want to hang out? Like, no, dude, you're fucking married. Fuck off.
And you're an NCO.
Like, you're an NCO, you're married, you have kids,
Oh man.
and your wife fucking comes to the squad bay or to the unit. Like, dude, stop. At the time, I was with someone, so me being a fucking decent human didn't entertain a lot of the things that were proposed to me. NCOs, hey, you want to fucking hang out? Like, nope, I don't. Or the female NCOs who are just like, fuck you, you're going to end up fucking pregnant, you're going to end up medically discharged, you're just a fucking another bitch in the system. And I'm like, okay, like, how is that going to affect me? Your words don't mean anything to me. Right now, you're not being a leader. You're not being a senior leader. You're just being another cunt in the Marine Corps. Like,
Well, and the whole,
I understand. I understand the more so big dick competition out of the females in the Marine Corps because there's not that many of us. But also, there's not that many of us. So stop trying to be a cunt all the time.
Well, and one of the main issues I think that this all stems from is, in fact, the rank structure itself. And I think the rank structure does more good than it does harm. However, when it comes to sexual harassment and assault specifically, you have high ranking NCOs or officers that are in total control of everybody's lives, personally to an extent as well, not just at work. Like, they affect your personal life. And when you have somebody with that much power that's used to that much power, and maybe he's just a little fucking extra horny that day, and there's this, lower ranking female Marine catches his eye, I mean, it can turn into this really weird power dynamic where I can ruin your fucking career and your life if you don't do this.
Yeah, I've absolutely witnessed that and have been a part of that, and it sucks to say because it's so common. It's like, why can't we just be Marines? Or why can't you just be my NCO?
Be professional.
SNCO. Like, why can't you yeah, exactly. Why can't you just be professional? But although there are also those female Marines who provoke that kind of attention, like, oh, I'm going to go off base, but before I leave, I'm going to stop by the fucking office and see who's on duty and show my fucking tits and do this. Like, just fucking go off base. Do whatever the fuck you want. Be a whore if you want to be a whore. But, like, don't tell anyone you're a fucking Marine. Like, do yourself a favor because you look like a fool.
There were instances where, back when I was on CQ, or never on staff duty, because staff duty was always up at the battalion office, but on CQ, where you're at the barracks, Do you guys have that in the Marine Corps? Like 24-hour duty in the barracks?
Yeah. It's just duty.
Okay. So we have like CQ, which is usually at the barracks, and then we have staff duty, which is up at like the battalion offices.
Mm-hmm.
But on CQ, when you're at the barracks on a weekend, especially, you're going to see crazy shit, especially in infantry barracks, because infantrymen like to get drunk and think that they're hot fucking shit. And
bring women over and shit like that.
Yep.
I've dealt with that.
Yep. So it was weird at my first duty station. There were no females in the male barracks. Like it wasn't allowed. It wasn't a normal thing. Anytime you were on CQ and you saw a female in the barracks, it was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing in here? Like, get the fuck out. I don't care if you're just like an Italian. I don't care who you are. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But at other bases I've been at, there's like an all female floor and like an all male floor. And that's when shit starts to get fucking weird. Because, like you said, I'll be on CQ and these drunk female soldiers will walk by and they'll just like flash their tits. Or they'll be like, hey, let me come suck your dick. And you're like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
But in that same turn, you'll have the males go down, get extremely fucked up with the females. And then there was an instance where there was a completely naked female drunk and passed out on the male floor. And that's just dangerous. That's just fucking dangerous, being on the infantryman's floor, drunk, passed out, naked, and a female. Completely, like, her clothes weren't anywhere to be found. Like, she was just naked. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I literally, I wasn't an NCO at the time. I was a runner. I stood like 10 feet away from her. I was afraid to go up and touch her and see if she was okay. Like, I was fucking terrified for my career. I called up my NCO at the time, and even he was like,
what do we even do?
Yeah, don't touch anything. And for the first time, we were like happy that fucking MP showed up to the infantry barracks. We were like, this is you. We didn't touch her. We didn't go anywhere near her. We didn't help her. Like, she is just drunk and passed out right there. Didn't check to see if she was even fucking breathing because we were terrified because of how many. And looking back, obviously that's the wrong answer. But
it was in the moment.
Yeah, and there's just so many instances where the military makes talking to the other sex such a taboo that when it happens, it's a fucking disaster.
Yeah. No, that's all I can say to that is
Nathan, how's women and male integration up in the Canadian military look like?
This is going to sound awful, but I think a lot better than what you guys have. It's not fantastic, don't get me wrong, and maybe I was like either willfully blind or just blind in general to my time in, but I didn't see the issues you guys had. And like it is bad. Don't get me wrong. It is bad and it has been bad, but I've never seen anything like don't talk to women. Like I did my fucking qualifications with women in all of my courses. And this is before you even got in, Mitch. I had women during my quals, like lugging shit alongside me, and I don't remember the kinds of scandals. And don't get me wrong, right now in the Canadian military, we have a huge sexual harassment scandal. To be a little edgy, I guess. I think a lot of it's political. Like one of the guys went down for streaking at his university when he was 18, and the guy's like 40 something now. A lot of it's very political. Some of it is very legitimate, and the person's a piece of the people are pieces of shit. But a lot of it is just kind of like media witch hunt. But it doesn't sound nearly as bad as it was in the Marines or in your unit, Mitch. Or the culture, I think, might be a couple years ahead, or at the very least, just different here.
I think because our first interaction, well, not our first interaction, our first impression of being in the army, at least, was if you see female soldiers, don't fucking talk to them. And having that be what you're told in basic training is like part of your first glimpse and taste of the military, I think that affects people down the road in ways that they don't even realize. Because even now, like, fuck, that was like 7 or 8 years ago. Also, because I have to work with females, obviously. Like, that is the military. You have to work with the other sex, especially up in the S shops whenever you have to go and get anything done. But even now on the infantry side, I'll find myself having to not check myself for saying anything, but for feeling weird. I'll be like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, female soldier, not going over there. And I have to like
Mhm.
check myself and be like, well, that's also inappropriate as fuck too. And I can go like I have to like not talk myself up, but I just have to remind myself, hey, they're a fucking soldier. Like, treat them like a fucking soldier. Just because somebody years ago told you don't fucking speak to the other gender doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. But if that's still resonating with me in such a little way, I can only imagine how many other people that's resonating with to this day that are of higher rank or can't check themselves like I do and end up just being fucking weirdos. And I don't know. It's a really strange dynamic that the military has created when it comes to men and women. And
Mhm.
I'm just so intrigued hearing about it from the other sex's side.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Haley, I
am
saw
as
your
well.
fucking.
It's
I saw your fucking biceps there. What the fuck? You're jacked. Have you always been this jacked?
She's a
I'm
female
not
fucking
jacked.
Marine,
I just have
Nathan.
a bruise.
She's a Marine. Ooh, fucking raw, Nathan.
Hoorah!
Oh, my heart. I'm not jacked. I just have a bruise and
Like,
gaining more.
I'm not
I'm
jacked.
ga-
I just have a bruise. Like,
I'm gaining more weight because I'm in a healthy relationship and Tim loves steak. So we eat steak all the time.
I love
steak is
Tim
lovely.
and steak.
I also love Tim and I love steak too. So
I
I'm
love
glad we're on the same page.
I love Tim and steak also. Tim and steak's pretty dope. Tim can't hear
That's
any of this, and I don't care, but it's very funny.
he will. He will.
Yes, good.
Yeah,
all that matters.
Tim Willison.
Yes.
So when you got out of the Marine Corps, what kind of was it? I know you were in for a short period of time, but was there any
Mhm.
type of culture shock, kind of like reintegrating yourself?
Yes. So, funny story. Right after I got out of the Marine Corps, I signed up for cosmetology school and
Really?
completed that. Yep, completed it fully. Never went and got my license because I figured out that that wasn't what I wanted to do. I do like to do makeup. I like to get pretty and do whatever. Wasn't my thing. Also, I don't want to stand for several hours a day. I can't. My
Yeah.
body physically can't do that. Um, so after transitioning from the Marine Corps to that, I was very awkward. You have to dress up and get all pretty, and I was still in the fact of I can't wear eccentric makeup, or I'm just gonna wear t-shirts and leggings and whatever, and all of these young females fresh out of high school, mommy and daddy paid for their cosmetology school. It was just like, these are not my friends. These are not people that I would ever talk to. These aren't people who are into guns. These aren't people who have any of the same values or morals that I do. So, I went through the entire cosmetology school alone, which I'm glad I did that. I learned a lot. It was cool. Wasn't what I wanted to do. Right after cosmetology school, I went to welding school and passed that. And applied for several different positions and never ended up getting any. That's when I worked at Classic Firearms. But it was an absolute culture shock.
Yeah.
It was how do I act normal? How do I act like I can make my own decisions and not have to worry about what my NCO is going to think about me, or how do I eat with both hands now, or how do I not, I don't know, just anything. Just it was a completely different mindset I had to put myself into.
I never thought of that type of perspective because I've been in for so long and have ranked up to the position that I am, where I understand how the military works and I understand
Mhm.
what my rank can handle, so I can challenge that authority sometimes if I think something is fucking stupid. But getting out What'd you get out as, an E3, E4?
An E2.
An E2.
No, E3, sorry.
E3?
I got out as a Lance. Yeah, no, E2.
E2?
Yes.
Either way, like E4 and below. Well, Marine Corps isn't E4 an NCO?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so in the Army, an E4 can be an NCO, but it's a lateral promotion from specialist to corporal. Specialist is not considered an NCO, corporal is, but even as a corporal, you're just kind of like the bitch boy NCO. But getting out as anything E4 and below, I never thought of how that type of culture shock can be, because you're right. At that rank, especially in the Marine Corps, everything is, can I do this, sir? Can I not do this, sir? Because you guys don't say sergeant, right? It's sir, pretty sure.
Yeah, it's all sir, ma'am.
Sir, ma'am. And, like you said, can I eat with two hands? I mean, I was like that when I got out of basic for a while too. I'm like, holy fuck, like I have to eat as fast as I can because I only have like 2.5 minutes to fucking eat.
Yeah.
Even showering, like I would shower in like 30 seconds because I'm afraid, like I'm not afraid that like my drill sergeant's going to kick in my fucking door at my unit and just grill me as a fucking private. That's not what I'm concerned about. But when you do that for so long, that kind of becomes your habits.
Yeah.
And those habits don't integrate well with not being in the military, because you look like a fucking weirdo if you're going out to like lunch with your your new job with new people around you and you're done eating in 2.5 minutes. Like, you look like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, and luckily some of those aspects I was able to tie in pretty easily. I was the not super strict or not super just hell yeah, I'm a Marine. I just wasn't that headstrong. I was headstrong, but not to the point where, I was more headstrong in the factor of I don't know how to act around other females who aren't Marines, because we all act like cunts to each other. So do I feel the need to act like an absolute bitch to my other surroundings if you're a female. If you're a male, like, hell yeah, I can compete in the big dick competition, not a big deal. You want to fucking cut jokes and think they're offensive? I'll cut some jokes and make sure they're offensive. But the civilian female and the military female are two different breeds.
Probably where some of the problems are when that civilian female joins the military and is still a civilian female. Because it's how you approach things are completely different. Like relationships, friendship. I'm not just being like, like intimate relation. I'm talking like friendships too.
Mm-hmm.
It is very different in the military because you can't fraternize.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
as a woman and as a high-ranking male, or even it's rarer because there's less high-ranking females and lower-ranking men, but it's such a weird dynamic because some men are raised in a way where it's, you always respect females, you never treat them rude, you never yell at them, you never like anything like that, and then they become NCOs and you have to yell at your Marines,
Yeah.
you have to yell at your soldiers, and they subconsciously are now treating their female soldiers or Marines differently because of just how they were raised. And I don't think it's wrong how they were raised necessarily. I just think the military expects you to completely get rid of the last 17 years of your life, or 18
your entire
years,
upbringing.
And now you are supposed to do things a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates problems. I'm curious about Canada side of this, Nathan.
Yeah.
In Canada, do they like? Are you allowed to like still kind of have like a personality and just like interact with folks? Like, do you
Within
guys
the military?
like smoke people or like make them do like push-ups or like fuck somebody up if they do something wrong?
Officially, you're not supposed to. and it's been that way for a little while. And as far as I know, since my time, things have been getting a lot more lax. But I remember when I was in, you weren't allowed to smoke people in the way that you couldn't like make whatever PT you gave them. You either had to do it as well, or you just weren't allowed at all. And that was a pretty serious rule to avoid, the obvious situation. But yeah, people got smoked all the fucking time, and also that rule was ignored. Everyone did it anyway. Or when you're jacking someone up and you're making them do push-ups, they would get the really, really jacked master corporal to come over and he'd do the push-ups with you. But the guy looked like fucking G.I. Joe, so he could just do them forever. And yeah, that happened a lot. I remember in one situation, I don't know, someone fucked up, so all of us had to just like do PT in our underwear in our barracks. And because they weren't allowed to do that to us, they taped a garbage bag over the door and made us do it anyway.
Oh yeah.
It was funny. I actually looking
Hazing.
back, I remember
Hazing,
that
yeah.
fondly.
So,
And yeah.
So was that dynamic weird with the men NCOs and the females?
I remember the women got smoked a lot less. It still happened, but it was a lot less. Like we'd all fraternize and interact, and they'd tell us what happened in their inspection. We'd tell them what happened in our inspection. It was a lot more chill from what I remember. What happened to them. And I don't really have a lot more thoughts on it there. I was young at the time, so I wasn't thinking about like the none of it felt weird to me. Obviously there was a double standard, but not to the point where it felt like, oh, you're not allowed to talk to them, don't like acknowledge their presence. If they have boobs, don't think about even opening your mouth. If you look at them, you're out.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a thing. It was actually quite normal. Like it wasn't like, obviously they had a different set of fitness standards and they had their own barracks and all of that, but we didn't really have any scandals as long as at least from what I remember.
I think what I experience is starting to die out if it hasn't completely already.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of change in my short military career so far.
His fucking like New York accent comes out every once in a while, and it kills me.
Out.
There you go. Comes out. The boot.
I get caught.
I think that's starting to change, which I think is a good thing. But I also still think there's so many other inherent issues that aren't being addressed because it doesn't look good addressing them.
Yeah.
Being a female Marine, you went through the all female side of Paris Island, I guess, so it wouldn't really matter. But was there ever, obviously there's favoritism in general, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. Was there ever any like sexist favoritism?
I'm ready for everything to be on the books.
Hell yeah.
Because mama didn't raise a bitch, so.
Mama didn't raise a bitch. I love that.
I asked
Mama is a bitch, but mama didn't raise a bitch.
I love how the three of us have like a subtle but distinct accent. It's cute.
The more I drink, the more I sound southern. How do you
more
pronounce
your
the
accent
word?
comes. Huh?
How do you pronounce? I'm going to spell the word. How do you pronounce the word spelled OIL?
Oil?
Oil.
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 Oil? What the fuck?
Oil.
What?
Oil. Or like a place that you go to watch movies. What is that called?
Theater?
Theater.
What?
Do you say fucking theater?
It's a movie theater.
Movie theater.
What
Holy
the fuck?
shit.
Or like someone who practices law.
Lawyer?
What?
I'm Canadian. How do I not have the weirdest accent in this fucking chat?
Yeah, this
I'm
definitely.
from the South where everyone has sex with their cousin. Of course I have the weirdest accent.
The weirdest accent.
O'Driscolls.
Okay, what was the question?
The question was, there's favoritism in the military, obviously, men or women. Have you ever experienced or seen or just witnessed in general any favoritism that was sexist?
Oh, my eye itches. It's probably not a good thing. I witnessed favoritism in that aspect a lot with the single male NCOs and the single female like corporals, and lance corporals. So a lot of it, hey, we're gonna go do this working party, but we only want corporal so and so and corporal so and so because they're the two best females. Like, okay. Or I wouldn't say I've witnessed that personally a lot, which I think is something astonishing, so to say.
That's good. It's something that I think happens a lot, but when I say a lot, I mean obviously more than it should. One instance is more than it should. It's becoming less. I don't know how to say it because it still happens more than it should, but it's happening less than it did. But it's still
Yeah.
happening a fucking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely is.
Overall, what's your opinion on women being integrated into combat arms?
No.
Just no?
Fucking harsh. Just
I
immediately, it's like, no, fuck you.
I say no and if someone wants to argue or give me valid reasons why they think my opinion is wrong or elsewhere can be proved wrong or have standing opinions that can factor off of mine, I would absolutely like to hear them. It's an ever-changing world, so you can look me up on Instagram and tell me why you think elsewise.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
I
don't
actually
think
have a
women
differing
belong.
opinion, which I'll give you when you're done.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't think women belong in combat positions for the reason of me in the Marine Corps. I was 90 to 95 pounds. Although I may be a good shot, I may know the ins and out of the firearm that is issued to me. If the man beside me goes down and I can't pick him up and I have to leave him, or if something arises where I need to lift more than my body weight and I'm not physically fit to those standards, although I can meet all the CFT, PFT, and every physical standard the Marine Corps has, those don't suffice when you're next to a 200-pound man or a 200-pound woman that I cannot lift and take to cover, and I cannot lift to give medical support to. That's where I think it's fucked up. Because I can almost guarantee you, I couldn't lift either one of you two men with every bone in my body, even without a fractured pelvis, because I'm just a petite human being. And you have those women who are like, oh hell yeah, I'm fucking small. I'm gonna go be a fucking 0311 and fucking show everyone. Okay, you're also gonna end up with a fucking fractured pelvis because you think you're hot shit and you think that your body can complement 200 plus pounds. It can't.
So what about, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'll share my opinion after this too, but what about the females that can do that? I know they are few and far between, but I think it is fair to acknowledge the ones that do exist.
And it is because I served with one. Her name is Amber, and she is the like stoutest bitch I've ever known in my entire life. She could kick anyone's ass, and I love her for that. But being a female, we all have the same emotional system, the emotional breakdown. We all process things differently than men because that's how we are. That's how we were created as humans on this earth.
You pronounce
I
Earth
don't.
really cute. I enjoy that. Sorry, that's just like a southern thing. Sorry, just like
But
Earth.
if
I can't really. Sorry, continue.
God, fucking get an
Drunk
elbow here in
Nathan.
a second. You give him 3 White Claws and he's drunk. Jesus Christ.
Earth. Oh God, you should hear Mitch pronounce words with his fucking New York accent. New York. Sorry, continue.
Let her fucking speak, Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan, let me fucking speak. I'm a woman. I have these rights, apparently.
But apparently not the right to join the military.
Are you
Sorry.
mansplaining? Are you mansplaining, Nathan? Talking over her?
I am
So
mansplaining.
going back to with Amber, if I or Amber or any female were in a combat scenario where we had to choose to open fire on someone, on an individual, we would process that differently than males. And it has been statistically proven that we take longer to process if it's the right thing to do. Whereas males, adrenaline, your function of the brain, your neurons are firing at full capacity, and you will do what you think is right with no hesitation. Not all the time, but I to the women who do and are in combat roles, I respect you, but I don't think it's the right thing.
You've clearly read more into this than I have.
Because
So
when I'm in a bar with several male Marines and they ask me the same question, I don't want to be like, oh, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm a fucking, all Marines are the same. We're not. There are female and there are male Marines. I can't fucking pick your fat fucking overweight, out of standard ass up and you could throw my 90-pound ass. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I want to be prepared. I want to have as much knowledge as I can to not have an argument, but put these valid points out there for people to endeavor, because not everyone wants to look up the statistics. Not everyone gets to deal with a female in a combat position and gets to hear their insight. Although she's a trained 0311, I don't think that if the time arises, if she were to go to Afghanistan, she would be able to do the right thing.
Translate very well to real life. There's all sorts of things that the government doesn't and will never take into account.
Yeah, UFOs.
Fucking UFOs.
Dude, every time we go to bed, Tim and I watch UFO videos, and it's our bonding time. It's the greatest thing. We watched several hundred hours of UFO documentaries.
That's incredible.
Nathan, what's your take on women in combat arms?
Mine is a much less educated take, but at the same time, like I agree with what Kaley's saying. Like, she's 90 pounds, she's not picking up a 200-pound person, and like a unit is only as strong as its weakest link. But my opinion is anyone who fits the standard, anyone who actually passes the tests and can like process and lift and like everyone should be held to the same standard. I don't think standards should be changed just because someone is a woman. The problem is, if you have to lug a 200-pound man, you're going to have to fucking lug a 200-pound man. That being said, if you're a woman and you can do that, I don't see any reason to keep you out. I was going to put on like a little soundbite of the X-Files theme when you were talking about the UFOs, and I didn't get it in time, and I feel so bad for that. Sorry. If you can add an X-Files theme right afterwards, I would really appreciate that. But I don't know anything about the processing, but I don't think I acknowledge that there are biological differences between men and women, but there's always exceptions to the rule. I believe in both terms of cognitive processing and in terms of physical strength. I've met women who can fucking throw me around, and I'm not a complete slouch. I'm a bit of a slouch. I'm more of a slouch than I should be, but
you've lost weight. You look good.
Oh, thank you. Spending all my time in the fucking gym, I say as I fucking flex on camera, pretending to scratch a bug bite, Kaley. But thank you. But that being said, as long as people can meet a physical standard that is uniform across the board, I've got no real problem with it. And other standards, obviously. There's a lot of things you have to do before you enter combat arms.
I'm a bit torn personally. Well, I do agree with what you're saying, Nathan, that the standards should be met. I would like to add to kind of what Kaley was saying. The tests and standards that are currently being implemented are not a good indicator of whether or not somebody is good and fit for combat.
Oh, I'm absolutely inclined to agree with that. I didn't really get to it, but yeah, the current tests are fucking garbage.
Even the new Army ACFT, I'm a certified fucking, I don't even know what they're called anymore. Certified test giver. I forget what the official title is. I'm certified to run an ACFT.
Certified to run it.
Yeah.
Cannot actually tell you anything about it.
It well, I can tell you all about it, and I can tell you that the way that it was developed, it seems like somebody, and I'll give a little backstory to it first. So the APFT is what the old Army PT test was. I think it's still actually good until October of this year or next year. They might have changed that date though. Um, but the old APFT for the Army, all you had to do across the board was push ups, sit ups, and a 2 mile run. And the standard was different for men and women, and it took into account age as well. The new ACFT, none of that is really taken into account. They might have added age, they might have. I don't believe they did though. But gender is no longer, a thing when it comes to the ACFT. And they implemented these crazy both both way standards where it's extremely easy to pass, but it is extremely difficult to max out. And the new ACFT includes like a leg tuck, a deadlift, a drag carry, so like you're dragging a sled, carrying like ammo boxes, like it's a whole thing, and then it ends with a run. And when they were doing it, they found that most women were failing. What they weren't talking about, and what is never talked about, is that a lot of men fail too. There's a lot of unfit, piece of shit men that only pass the PT tests because their NCO doesn't want to put in the work to chapter them out or to put them into the ABCT program, which is the Army Body Competition, or ABCP. Yeah, not T. They don't want to do the paperwork for that, and it's much easier to quote unquote miscount the number of reps that somebody completes with push-ups or sit-ups than it is to hold somebody accountable. So there's a lot of unfit men, but nobody is, holding them accountable. But anytime a woman takes a PT test, well, they better fucking do it the right way to standard every single push up, every single sit up, because I want to make women look bad. I want to prove a point that women can't do this. So there is both sides where you have piece of shit dudes that are skating by and some women who can, obviously meet the standard of the current test given, but they have some super hua fucking infantry combat protection protector dude who's like, I'm not going to count that rep. You didn't go down all the way. Your spine and your fucking elbows or whatever the fuck he wants to say. So it's a really difficult place, and I don't think the ACFT solves it. And I think there's significantly less women that are just biologically capable of competing with men in combat arms. And we see it just in sports when they try and integrate sports. You have
You say sports really cute. Sports.
sports
Sorry.
like male soccer teams, or I'll even call them boys soccer
Boys.
teams competing with like the best women's soccer team in the world. And like that in history, even you can call the last 20 years of the US women's team in soccer the best like in history for women's sports. And a U14 academy team of boys beat them like 8-0. And then everybody's like, well, they're not trying because, why would they compete against 14-year-old boys? But this is a practice that coaches do. I'm a coach. I've scouted for college. I've done contract work for professional teams, and what women do, women colleges, they will go and get the local JV boys high school team to play against them to prepare
Sorry,
them.
every time you say boys, it kills me. I'm sorry.
There is just some biological differences, and that's not saying they aren't equal. It's saying that there are biological differences. And I mean, picture we had, Ronda Rousey, who is a very big advocate of, men and women are biologically different. But picture Ronda Rousey in her prime went up against Conor McGregor in his prime.
Yeah.
No offense to Ronda Rousey, she's getting knocked the fuck out. And she knows she's getting knocked the fuck out.
Sure.
And that's nothing against women. It's just that there is a physical difference.
Yes.
And I do think if women can meet a standard that actually measures combat fitness, sure, they can absolutely be a part of it. I mean, I don't see a problem with that. I think there are other problems that come later once they are actually a part of the unit, but that's not the discussion at hand. They're just so few and far between that I don't know if those problems that will become worth it or not. That's my take on it.
No, that's a very fair
I don't
take.
know. I just do know, as somebody that is very into sports and in the military, that there are biological, physical differences between men and women.
Agreed.
Yeah. It's a strange thing to say, because I'm going on a fucking rant because this irks me as a fucking soccer coach. But take people are always like, oh, well, you guard like Sue Bird, or some other WNBA player, and I'm like, we're not talking about like average women. We're talking about the best competitors in like a certain sport or a certain physical event. You have to take the best male counterpart, because you're not going to tell Sue Bird to go guard fucking LeBron James, right? That's just not going to happen. But just imagine, I mean, Dave Chappelle did a bit about it. Just imagine LeBron James was suddenly like, I'm a female now, and was allowed to play in the WNBA. I mean, it's just, you can use that logic and be like, well, that's just fucking not fair. It's just biologically and physically not fair. He's a 250-pound, 6'10" absolute fucking unit. A fucking unit. And the best WNBA player of all time is not guarding the best or even the average male NBA player, and not because they aren't less talented, just because they physically are different. That's my rant. I'm going to stop ranting about sports. Sorry. Kaley. On a brighter topic, you now shoot an AK that is like proportionately half the size of you, and it's fucking awesome.
I remember when I drew that picture of you holding the AK, people are like, oh, that AK is so big. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. She's just small. You're just small.
Yeah. So I did not own an AK prior to moving to live with Tim. This past Christmas together, just a regular Christmas, giving gifts and whatnot, and I started opening several packages. Well, one of the packages was just the bolt of an AK, and I'm like,
that's fucking
what
awesome.
in the fuck is this?
Oh,
and then I open it, and it's the piston, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, no. Then I open it up, and it's like the barrel, and I'm like, are you fucking shitting me?
See, oh man, that's awesome.
Was that from Kim?
How does it feel now that AK ammunition is now more expensive than AR ammunition?
So
Thanks, Biden.
You motherfucker. Anywho. Yeah, you're not wrong. Also, anywho, I went and bought 600 plus rounds this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Good.
But I paid an astronomical amount for them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
How much are you paying per round? Like 7.62 X39 right now.
Tim, how much did I just pay for that 500 per round? 65?
65 cents? Was it steel case?
7.62 X39? What the fuck?
Steel case? Holy shit, fuck.
Serious? Jesus Christ. It's okay, steel case fucking Tula and shit is still like 30 cents around here. I guess we don't have Joe Biden, we have worse laws. I'd still
But
rather live in America. But like brass 556 is 40 cents around right now.
Tim and I are going to a competition this weekend in Wisconsin, and we had went to Shields, which is like our local sporting goods store, and we beeline to the ammo. And I'm like, I need the 7.62. I want the cheapest 7.62 you have, and I want all of it in a fucking cardboard box right now. So
Yeah.
the guy's like, well, we have however much. I was like, go get me a box, please. Like, I'm standing here like that bitch guarding it, and there's someone behind me like, are you getting all of that? Like, dude, fuck all the way off. Yes, I'm getting all of this. I just told the motherfucker to get me a box. Like, yes, I'm getting all of it. But, you're okay if you have a decent amount. If you're panic buying, then
Yeah. If you're panic buying, you're doing it too late. Like things will eventually equalize. It just fucking sucks in the moment.
exactly. I that's my take on it. I completely
Yeah.
agree with that entire statement.
Fuck, that sucks so much. It sucks so much. And it sucks for like Tula and all of that. But 100%, like that is not remotely Russia's biggest export to America. They are 100% going after gun owners.
Oh, did you see what?
Absolutely.
Do you see what Tula Ammo is doing?
What are they doing?
They're moving production to China to get to get over the
Nice.
bans.
I thought there was a ban on Chinese ammo.
I don't think so.
I thought there was because I keep on seeing stuff about it.
The article I saw might have been. I didn't read the entire thing. I saw the headline, laughed, so it might be just somebody.
They'll probably find a way around it, especially as like last time something like this happened, they just started exporting stuff to like Ukraine and then mailing it from Ukraine. So they will get around it. Just people are going to spend a bit of money for a little while. Here you can get Russian milsurp ammo and Chinese milsurp ammo all day, but it sucks because there's no guns to fucking run them in.
What's going to happen is that ammo will just be shipped to like Canada, and then some Canadian company is just going to repackage it as something else, and then be like, "Oh, America."
I'm going to reach out to Misty Mountain Supply literally right now to see if he wants to do that.
He won't sell me his Moisen.
His Moisen. Nagant. Moisen? Mitch, who the fuck pronounces Mosin like Moisen?
Okay. The fucking Mosin.
New York.
The Mosin.
Yes.
All right. He won't sell me the Mosin because he says he can't import it.
If you can find a way to import it, I'm sure he can. My buddy's got a Car 98 you can probably buy as well. Like, matching fucking serial numbers, fucking 1930s German.
I don't care
Car
about
98.
any of that. Don't care about any of that.
Yeah, but it's still a fucking Car 98, and you said you wanted one.
I do.
Mosins are shit. I
don't care.
Man, I shot two mags, and keep in mind each mag is 5 rounds.
Nathan,
and on like
don't
round
care.
7 or 8, it was locking up. Like
Nathan,
it was so hot, the gun I could not cycle the bolt without like. Yeah.
I do not care.
Well, it's still shit, and your opinions are bad, and you should feel bad.
Nope.
You're just gonna overpay for a piece of garbage.
Kaley, how did you get into guns? What got you into guns?
The Marine Corps taught me the basics about guns. Working at Classic Firearms, I got more into guns. Finding Tim on Instagram from a competition, like an online Instagram user competition, got me really into guns. He helped me, which I am very thankful for, build my very first AR. It's a 10.5 all arrow and Geisley build.
Ooh.
But really coming here and taking more of the history and having the variety here to learn about really set a fucking fire off. And it's, at work, I have an AK mug. I have an AK fucking cleaning mat. That's my mouse pad. It's just very contagious here. And I have to say the bulk of getting into firearms was Tim allowing and graciously giving me the knowledge that he has.
Yeah.
So you weren't a kid. It wasn't before the Marine Corps. It was never your family. It wasn't like your dad or your mom. It was,
nope.
I joined the Marines to do cool shit. and now I
Yep.
have an M16, and now I want an AK. Well, Tim taught you about the world of fucking Slavs.
Yeah,
Slav.
AKs are fucking awesome. We have our competition this weekend, and I can't wait to run around like fucking crackheads in tracksuits.
Crackheads and Suko Bliet.
That's so
Yes.
cool that you and your significant other get to do that. I'm super. That sounds so heartwarming. Because like
It's-
it's just so fulfilling for
yeah.
you, both of you.
It's definitely, we have some friends that are like, get my girlfriend into guns. It's like, I'm not getting your girlfriend into guns if she doesn't like guns.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's not who I am. Like, if she's into it, hell yeah. Let's broaden the spectrum. Let's get her into it. But if she's not, don't force that shit on her. Like, it took me a while to be comfortable appendix carrying my 365. Like, it's a big step to intake firearms into your life, and
Yeah.
now I don't feel safe without one.
Yeah, it's a big step to just like walk around pointing a loaded gun at your cock all the time. Or
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or
Haley,
other
right
bits.
at your cock, Haley.
Yeah.
Right at it. Just the big log itself
Yeah.
is just in harm's way.
What do you run for your appendix holster?
I have a TXC, whatever their newest one is, X1 Pro. I built a custom X1 Pro.
Oh yeah, Nathan,
And
I'm still
a
waiting for the
SIG
burrito.
365.
Wait, say again, Mitch.
I'm still waiting for the burrito.
The burrito? Oh, I'm gonna message Elijah about that. I don't know, but yeah.
Tim
what
has
do you
one of
order
the
for your-
OG burritos. Tim has one of the OG burritos.
For Mitch's birthday, I got him a goon burrito holster, and it looks pretty cool.
Nice.
I know there's a little bit of a lead time, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna message and figure out. I
Speaking
think
of
Mitch and I both
burritos.
run sidecars, and like
Yeah, we run sidecars.
Threaded barrel
The
pokes
OG
my dick.
sidecar now, 1.0.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, I want the second one. Like, I'm not going to like simp for the site for like hype beast reasons, but it looks like a good design. And I kind of want it. I really want it, so I can like have a pistol in the holster part and have like have a thing of have like a protein bar in the other, or like
A White Claw.
a White Claw, or what was I thinking of? It's like a bait. Those prepackaged bacon strips you can get at gas stations. One of
Ew.
those.
Ew, you fucking peasant.
My body will warm it for me. If I need a
Oh my
emergency
fucking
snack,
God.
I can just like pull it out from under my shirt, and I'll just be ready to go with that fucking hot rod. That's what they're called.
So Tim got you into firearms.
Yes.
We've kind of talked about Tim already, but you.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should get Tim. Let's say hi. Let's
Yeah.
fucking do it.
Tim just got out of the shower. Tim, would you like to say hello?
Tim's
Let me
cool.
take the AirPods out and see if
Let's see Tim.
Tim's cool. Too cool for the podcast, isn't he?
Tim is not too cool for the podcast.
Hey Tim,
What's up,
how
dudes?
are you?
What's up, dude?
Good. How are you?
Let me turn my laggy
Fucking hanging
camera on.
out.
There we go.
How are you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
I follow your
Good.
AK content on Instagram. It's pretty fucking
Do you?
cool. Yeah.
What's your username?
We're both Seaburn art, but I'm illustration Nathan. I don't actually post. I just lurk you, both of you.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Your shit's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Absolute
Uh,
unit of a man.
Yes.
Absolute unit of a man.
I didn't even mean for any of this to happen. Like, I just started today my third year of college, and I worked professionally for years before that, and I never had time to get into it. And I started college and just being home, I started posting pics of my guns, and it kind of just grew from there. Like I didn't set out to be like an influencer or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
neither
mean, fuck, guns are awesome. So, oh my god, who is that?
That's Kimber.
Kimber is perfect.
We
Timber
know.
is perfect.
It turns out I either do not follow you on Instagram, which is weird because I remember doing it a
You're a
while
fucking
ago.
terrorist,
But
Nathan.
I'm just going
You
to
didn't
fix that
follow
because
our
it-
last guest. You
Well,
don't follow our current guest
I
boyfriend.
already did. I did. You know how that weird thing of people unfollow gun content? I think that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
that
wow.
happens. I talk to people all the time who have not like went in and unfollowed me, but were no longer following me.
That's happened. I receive messages about it all the time, like people apologizing for unfollowing. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But no, that happened. I've fixed that problem now. But yes, I think the one thing that we are talking about and we can agree on, AKs are fucking awesome.
AKs are fucking great. People always
Yeah.
ask us about that platform, like we don't think it's awesome, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, you have one. I have a lot of time behind like Chinese Type 81s because AKs are illegal here, so we just get the weird kind of Norenko knockoff. It's fucking lame. I hate.
You're in Canada, right?
Yeah. It's
I got a
fucking
couple
terrible here.
Canadian pages that follow me and some guys that I talk to off and on from up there, and it's bullshit. I mean, it's all bullshit, but
yeah, but it's especially bullshit here. I'm hoping to move down there kind of ASAP, but we'll see what happens.
hell yeah.
But Type 81s are basically the only AK we can get next to Valmets, which costs like $12,000. So
right.
Yeah.
So funny story. When I was first talking to Kaley, she was talking about, oh, maybe I want to get an AK. And I was like, oh, yeah? So, like, what kind of AK? And it was a fucking Valmet. It was like a
really
AK-61. It was, but it was like a South African Valmet. They're like, like you said, $12,000. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's what you want? She's like, yeah, those are pretty cool.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right.
You're on what, like a Matty now?
A Madi, yeah.
Yeah. That
thing
nice.
looks fucking great. Nice. Yeah.
We gotta do some work to it yet. We gotta do a front end conversion on it, and
we're gonna fucking chop it, make it a short boy.
How short are you chopping it?
I don't know yet.
So probably 14.5.
Oh,
I've told her that we should. I've told her we should SBR it, but if we don't SBR it, then 14.5 with a pin and weld.
Yeah, I mean,
some like, suppressor host.
Anything's legal if you want it to be.
Right.
So, I saw fucking the other day. I saw someone was selling a Surefire 3-prong muzzle brake with like a fake pin and weld mark, and I lost my shit. I fucking lost my shit. That is such a clever way to get around stuff.
Right.
Do you have the 2-ton press and you like make your own and do?
No. So I got into AKs way too late. I got into AKs, as the kits were drying up, and I was Marine Corps, so I'm an AR guy by heart, and then I finally got my first AK. It was a Norenko, and
these must have been a hot minute ago.
Yeah, they so, and the thing is, they're kind of like they're built off the same platform, but they're different. Like they were 1.5 millimeter thick receivers, where most of your standard stamped are 1 mil. And so I already had furniture that I was gonna throw on this AK, and I bought it and it didn't fit.
Norenko problems.
So I had I had no idea what I was doing. So then I started researching it, and I kind of got into like I like the history of it, and then I kind of saw how many different variants there are and how many different countries make them. So it just grew from there. But no, I don't actually build. I would have loved to have, but I mean, kits anymore are ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are getting out of it, and now who knows what's going on with ammo.
Yeah. I think things will equalize eventually. If the Russians are good at anything, it's getting around laws.
Right.
And chances are we're going to see stuff shipped to other like friendly countries and just repackaged and shipped at a slight premium.
Shout out to Ivan the Bear for everything that I've ever put on my AK.
Absolutely.
Oh my fuck, yes. Zenitco as well. Zenitco with the 3-month shipping. I just bought a Purst 4 and that thing was fucking great. It went to my buddy.
So that's full power, right?
Yes. Oh my god, it's a lightsaber. Oh my god.
I've been looking, and I think that's what I want to get, because the like the PEC 15s that you can get that like L3 is making now, they're like low power, but apparently those Pursts are like full power.
They are horrifying. You can see them like I shone mine on the side of a mountain. I could see it a good 400, 500 meters away.
Wow.
It's a lightsaber. That being said, shipping took like 2-3 months, and it sucks not having an illuminator. So, and that's something that I kind of took for granted in the military and whatnot. But now I'm like, oh fuck, I need an illuminator of some kind. So if I could do it again, I'd probably just like shell double or triple for the Purse 3 and get basically a PEC 15 that's full power.
You were in the Canadian military?
Yeah, fucking long time ago.
What? Like how long ago?
Like 2010, think around.
Okay. So I deployed to Afghanistan in 2011.
Oh shit, yeah.
And we had a fucking Tim Hortons there until you guys.
Timmy H.
you guys pulled out, and we didn't have Tim Hortons anymore. And I was like, man, this.
Oh, it sucks. No, Tim Hortons used to be the best.
Yeah,
I think they're
that's back
owned
when it
by
was
like
good.
a Brazilian holdings firm now, and they've basically turned into another Starbucks, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, for over there, it was really good, and I'd never even heard of Tim Hortons.
Did you have
Yeah,
green
and-
beans when you were deployed?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had
green
green
beans.
beans, and we had a Nathan's hot dogs.
Nathan's hot dogs.
Nathan's
are
hot
fucking great.
dogs. Yep.
Yeah, I own that company actually. It's,
Yeah?
I started it myself, in my front yard.
I was moving through, I believe it was Kuwait. I think we were moving back. There was a fucking Baskin Robbins in Kuwait.
There's no
Like, on
Baskin
post.
Robbins in Kuwait.
Yeah. And it was great because it was like 120 degrees like at night. So you became like nocturnal and it would just become like nighttime ice cream. It was great. It was great coming back from deployment, getting to go through Kuwait.
That sounds fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I love Baskin Robbins. I don't think we even have one here. Like, the last Baskin Robbins I can think of was in New York. I think there's one in Toronto. Maybe a few in Toronto.
I'm a Cold Stone guy now.
Cold Stone Creamery is dope.
Yeah.
I only like going there because you can make them sing to you.
Wait,
Do they do that where you're
at
from?
Cold Stone?
Yeah, do they do that where you're from?
Wait. They
Wait, what?
sing to you?
Yeah.
No. What do you mean they sing to you?
At least the one here, it's like 5 minutes down the road.
They sing to you?
Yeah, like if you tip them, they have to sing to you.
Oh my god.
That is like the meanest fucking rule. Can you imagine being the guy in like Cold Stone Creamery corporate being like, how do we fuck with our minimum wage employees the most?
Right.
Like,
Isabella.
we degrade them.
Next time we go to Cold Stone, we got to tip them. Apparently they have to sing to us.
Tip them and make them sing.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
swear
can
that's
you do
a thing.
Freebird?
That's what I said.
Oh my god.
We have to go
Okay,
to Cold Stone, tip the people, and then they have to sing to us.
They have to sing.
Yeah, there's like a it used to be a picture on top of the end.
Yeah.
Apparently
right by where
we
you
always
pay.
tip them and they
You
never
throw
sing
cash
to us.
in there.
And then can you request songs? Can you be like,
No,
hey,
I
can
feel like-
you do
no,
Gangster's
like when you-
Paradise?
No, it's like when
do
you
Many
go
Men by 50
to you go to
Yeah.
a restaurant and you ask for your birthday song to be sang,
Yeah.
and it's like whatever birthday song they sing. They've
Yeah.
got like a collection of songs that they just choose from when you tip them. Apparently, it's about ice cream and stuff and chocolate.
That's still kind of like very degrading for a minimum wage employee, I think.
Oh,
but
I love it.
I'm probably
I
going to
love
do it.
it's the only reason I go there.
Well, I just found out that we tip them every time we go, and they have never sung to us once. So it must just be
Really?
they just do it for you.
Maybe you have to request it. Maybe it's just sitting on a sign.
Maybe
that
they
you,
just like your beard and
have
mullet,
to
and they're like, "We got to sing to this man."
Kimber.
She's probably like, "What the hell's going on?"
Kimber, look.
Oh my god, she's perfect.
This is turning into the best podcast we've ever recorded.
I think so.
The
Between this
healthiest.
and the Lucas one that no longer exists because the audio fucked up.
Yeah, it's all right though.
Kimber, you're on the podcast. How do you feel? What do you think? What is your stand on guns? Can you tell us how you feel?
How do you feel about the Biden administration ban on Russian imports, Kimber?
Get him.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
Hell
a good
yeah,
opinion.
Kimber.
Hold on. This is on coldstonecreamery.com on the jobs FAQ. It said crew members usually perform in stores and auditions may take place in addition to the interview process. That way, it's known that entertaining is a brand standard. In fact, many Cold Stone Creamery crew members enjoy singing so much that they create their own songs.
What the
What
fuck?
the fuck?
You guys have been getting ripped off this whole time.
I'm paying $11
paying
for my
for what?
goddamn ice cream and not getting sung to when they're supposed to sing to me.
Man, you guys are fucking up.
I'm fucking up so hard. I just want to walk in and be like, "Hey, sing me Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash." Like, I'll give you $5.
Yeah, you guys have been getting gypped this whole time.
Sing "Fuck the
fucking
Police"
stupid.
by Country Star 420. Like,
Oh my fuck.
oh my god! All right, next time.
Next time.
Cold Stone
Next time.
Creamery.
Well,
Like, I'm off the sugar, but I think I'll break that embargo to have a minimum wage employee just like serenade me with Freebird.
Tim, if we ever have you on, I am going to have an update on my Cold Stone for you because we always go
Okay.
to the same one and they never fucking
Yes.
sing to us and we always tip them apparently. So
Dude, it's bullshit. I think like they're kind of like, do they know that I got to do this?
I'm
No,
gonna
like, you know,
make it
like
known next
we
time.
put this much effort into hiding the sign. We put it somewhere. We put it over the door so people don't see it when they come in.
I'm
But-
going to make a point next time.
No, absolutely, you should. Make them
Yeah.
fucking earn it.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
them earn that fucking tip. I mean, I'm kind of upset now because we've been going there consistently for almost 3 years, and I guess we tip them every fucking time. Not once, not a single time, has anybody ever sang to me.
If I was you, I would call corporate.
Yeah,
Calling corporate, making a big fucking deal about it.
I'm calling corporate as soon as this is done.
Nathan, we're gonna make a fucking post about it, and
Cold Stone.
we're going to get everybody to start commenting on Cold Stone.
Just like, why the fuck? We've been tipping Cold
Yeah.
Stone Creamery employees for so long. Oh my
They
god!
need to retrain. They're a no-go
need
at
to
the
retrain.
station.
Oh man, fuck guys. This is kind of unrelated, but I saw earlier today a picture of a Taliban dude wearing a set of GPNBGs and just
Clinical.
grinning. Just
Clinical.
like sitting there in a car, grinning at the camera, wearing quads. And I'm so mad because I want those quads.
Clinical.
I want 'em.
So good.
Like,
Found $40,000 in the trunk of an MRAP.
Yep.
Like,
Nice.
here we go.
Who left them there? Who?
who left them there?
Who wouldn't just take them home for themselves if they're that unaccounted for?
Yeah, just like shove that shit in a dump pouch and pretend it doesn't exist. Like, I want that fucking night vision. Oh my god, I was so mad about the whole Afghanistan situation. I still am. I'm still furious about everything. But now I'm seeing the Taliban flex on social media with M240s and nods and everything else, and it's just like, man, I want that. Like, if I want to pay taxes, I may as well take something for it.
I saw someone commented like, well, maybe we left like hot load 300 blackout in with all the 5.56 and they're just going to blow the fucking selves up. But
Oh my fuck.
actually, that's illegal. It's a war crime.
Tim,
It's a war crime.
I
yeah.
want to know your opinion. Women being integrated into combat arms. We all gave our opinion. What's yours?
Oh yes.
So actually, I was asked this on a board in the Marine Corps. And my answer was, if that woman can do everything that I'm required to do as a man, if they can carry me, if they can integrate into the unit, then so be it. But if you're going to lower the standards, even on one thing for it, then fuck no.
And what did you get out as? What was your rank?
Sergeant.
E5?
Yeah.
Clinical. So there you have it, folks. Everybody
Yeah,
kind of says the
everybody
same
agrees
thing
with that.
that's been in that is actually in similar fields and not just somebody at the top talking and trying to give mouth and lip service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I heard Kaley talking about women in the service earlier, and well, like there is some of that, but I've also, some of the toughest Marines I knew were women. Some of the hardest working Marines I knew were women, and some of the biggest shitbags were dudes, you know?
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
also I don't think that you should fucking lower the standards just because men can't pass them. Like,
Yeah.
it's the military, you know?
Hmm.
It's a social experiment, though, that the whole military, like Congress and Senate and all of them, like to play games like, oh, well,
Yeah.
let's do this in the military and see how well that goes over.
Yeah. And no one thinks about the consequences. What were we calling it the other day, Mitch? It's welfare for conservatives.
Yeah, welfare for conservatives. Here I am.
Join the military.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exact, dude. So I told you this today was my first day back at school, and actually I've been online for a year and a half, like not by choice. I go to a university that's like in class, and I met up with some guys that are other veterans there, and we were talking about that, like like we joined the military when we were young because we knew that we wouldn't be productive members of society, and this was a way to do something important, and that's exactly it. Was like now we're going to school and we're actually trying and we're getting good grades and we're seeing all the fucking kids that just went straight to school but don't give a shit and they're spending all their fucking parents' money and not getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
But that's exactly it. Welfare for conservatives. It was like, okay, they'll pay me. I got to do cool shit.
Yeah. As like, I think it gives you a little bit of perspective. I genuinely do.
Yep.
Well, as we approach 2 hours, before we get off, we've kind of always, anytime we have military guests on or prior military, we kind of ask their opinion. Everybody already kind of knows Nathan's and mine, but starting with Tim and then ending with Kaley because she was the original guest. What do you recommend for somebody who may or may not want to join the military? Should they do it? Should they not? Why or why not?
That's a tough one. Like if you're on the edge about it, I would say do more research and understand exactly what you're getting into. Don't talk to your recruiters.
Oh no, never talk to their fucking recruiters.
And don't talk to the people that were in and then got out and then like came back home and aren't doing anything anymore. Like if you're going to ask somebody who went in and got out and they're making something of themselves, or somebody who's still in, to help make that decision, because it is a big commitment. There is a lot of potential for risk, but also there's a lot of reward. So some of the best people I've ever met, I served with, my best friend who lives with me to this day, I met 11 years ago in the Marine Corps. He was one of the first dudes that I met, like after boot camp and combat training, where it was like, this is a solid ass dude, and we're best friends to this day. Like, if you're on the fence, do more research. If you're still on the fence, I don't know. I don't think I could tell you to join. Like, it's a big commitment. You have to absolutely commit. Because if you're there, I've seen it. You're there, you're part of the team, and you're not contributing to the team because you don't want to be there. You're dragging everybody else down, and that's not a place to drag other people down.
Yeah, it's a place where people rely on you.
Exactly, and more so than like you go to corporate America and they're like, oh, but like you need to work on a team here, and it's like, motherfucker, like no one's gonna die if you don't fucking turn in this fucking report when it's due and shit, but you have that potential in the military, and that shouldn't be a decision that's made lightly.
Well said. Kaley, your thoughts?
I stand.
No, say your own thing.
Okay. I don't want to say the exact same thing that Tim said, but I do believe that, especially, myself catering towards a female who's wanting to join the military, ask men and women. Don't just ask women, because they're going to tell you what they know. Get the information that you think is pertinent, and then make your own decision, because I made a decision that now I have an injury for the rest of my life. But also, I did some of the coolest shit in the Marine Corps. I met some of the worst and some of the best people. I've had some of the worst and the best times. I do not regret my decision, but I regret how it ended. But that was out of my control.
That's out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like Tim said, if you're on the fence, just do research. You can reach out to Tim and I if you're thinking about joining the Marine Corps.
Don't reach out to me. I'm busy.
Okay, well, you can reach out to me.
Don't reach out to
Reach
Tim.
out
I'm
to
also
Tim.
busy,
Don't reach
but
out to Tim.
you can reach out to me.
No, I'm kidding.
You can reach out to Tim. ultimately it's your decision at the end of the day. You're an adult. You're going to make an adult decision towards either or not even either. Some of the best and some of the worst times of your life.
I
Tim,
think
I'm lurking your AK collection right now, and it's just it's very
Drunk
very good.
Nathan, off topic.
Yeah, I'm
Before we
I'm
got
sorry.
on the record,
It's
he
very
wanted to
nice.
see the
I'm just
body.
like spamming all your shit because it's a lot of good AKs. It's very good. Oh, I didn't even what's that game? Metro 2033. You have those magazines.
I get a lot of comments, people talking about that game. I've actually never played that game.
You might like it. It's very I don't know how big of a gamer you are, but you might like it.
I was a lot bigger into games growing up. Most recently, I played Red Dead Redemption when it came out.
Oh yes,
that was pretty good. But I think that's really the last game that I played regularly.
Yeah.
Before that,
Destiny.
Before that, probably Destiny. And then
Destiny was fun.
Before that was probably Halo 3 regularly. Yeah. So it's often like if I can get into a game, I get really into it, but I don't do it.
Metro's good. Like it's short. It's a single player campaign, but there's a lot of AK and like Slav content.
Mm-hmm.
Like a ton of it, and a lot of thought goes into it. Basically, every weapon is like a Kalashnikov or a Gaunt variant, and they're fantastic. They're super creative in how they do it. And also, the games are like $10 now. So,
is it like PC only?
No, it's everything.
Yeah,
I have it in PlayStation. Like,
I'll
have to check it out.
Yeah, but
like I have them. I've got the PS5 and the Xbox One X.
Oh shit! Then yeah, you can probably get the whole series as a bundle for like $20 or something. That's what I got. Yeah.
Kind of to cap your question you guys asked, and I'm sure you guys could corroborate this. I think a lot of us say that the best decision we ever made was joining, and then the second best decision we ever made was getting out.
Yeah.
Like honestly, yeah, I can see that.
It's the most fun I never want to have again.
Exactly. And the thing is, you like sit here and you think about all the good times you had and all the people you met, and you miss it. And then you start to think about all the bullshit you dealt with, and you're like, nope, don't want to do that again.
And I think joining right now is different than when we joined. Joining right now is probably not the best thing that you could do comparatively to maybe 10, 15 years ago. It was very different, and
it's a lot more political now.
Like, and as like shitty as this sounds, like the war times are the best times to serve.
Yeah.
Because when you're not constantly training or have that thought in the back of your mind, there's so much time for people to fuck with you.
Yeah. Think of dumb
shit. They
get
bored. They get bored of not deploying and not seeing shit, and they'll fuck with you hardcore. So my brother is in. Luckily, he's doing really well, but he's not seeing, as much as he would have seen 10 years ago, and I don't think he's getting as much out of it. But
yeah.
Well, I appreciate having you on, Kaley. You were
thanks for having me.
It's always great getting insight and perspective from unique individuals, and I think you're a unique individual.
It's always good to hear other sides of the story and get
100%. And thank you for coming on, Tim. It was
Tim, thanks for joining.
Minute.
Thanks for joining.
I'm sorry for calling you Tyler by accident before you came on.
I didn't even hear that.
Exactly. Don't worry about it. It didn't happen.
I'm sorry that your Cold Stones don't sing to you.
I'm gonna fix that fucking problem. Don't you fucking worry. That will happen.
Stride right in there with a pre-written letter to corporate.
Listen here, motherfuckers.
You
are going to sing me fucking Steely Dan right now.
I don't care what they sing. You're going to sing fucking something.
Yes.
Sponsors, AWS is great. Check out their belts.
Yes.
Thank
you, Advanced Warfighting Solutions. I really like my SMU belt. I'm not just saying that because they're sponsoring us. I'm saying that because that's my primary belt, and I really like it.
Yeah, they make cool belts. So does Applied Gear. They make cool everyday carry belts.
Yes.
We have a Patreon now, too. I think we have like 20 Patreons. We're up to like $350 a month. Look at us.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Go join the Patreon. We have a bunch of like spicy shit that Instagram doesn't like and has zucked us before.
We also put like savable versions of our guides there, which is nice.
Yeah.
So if you want to save our guides instead of like screenshotting them, that's okay. But you also don't have to, because we also put literally everything out for free. So
you don't have to.
But if you want
everything's out for free anyway.
Yes, but also, like, if we have to worry about money less, we can make more content faster. So we would appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's stop sucking our own dicks at this point.
Yes.
Kaylee, thank you for coming on again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Whenever you guys want Tim on, I'll be the showcase at the end as well. So.
Yep.
Yes,
we'll have to have
please.
Kimber on too.
Yes, Kimber is fantastic. She has a lot to say. I like what she had to say about the ammo ban.
Same.
Yeah, she had a lot of.
We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.